जेडीयू, नीतीश कुमार हिमसेल्फ हैज सेड कि बहुत देर हो रही है, आप जल्दी करिए। ना सीट शेयरिंग करते हैं, ना लीडर बताते हैं, ना मैनिफेस्टो बताते हैं। ऊपर से आरजेडी इस समय राम मंदिर के खिलाफ बहुत सारे बयान दे रहे हैं। So somewhere, Anupriya, you also need to realize that this is a changing India. It's an aspirational India. A lot is changing. The BJP is already, beginning its campaign. पर आप लोगों का सीट शेयरिंग भी नहीं हुआ है, अनुप्रिया।
अदिति जी, मुझे लगता है कि हमारे राष्ट्रीय प्रवक्ता केसी त्यागी जी ने आपके सारे सवालों का उचित जवाब दिया है, लेकिन आपके जो अधूरे सवाल रह गए हैं, जो राम मंदिर को लेकर तो सीट शेयरिंग को लेकर, ठीक है, हमारे केसी त्यागी जी ने कहा और हमारे नेता मुख्यमंत्री जी ने भी कहा है कि सच में बहुत देर हो गया है कि कांग्रेस के जो लीडर्स थे, जिनको 5 राज्यों के इलेक्शन के बहुत महत्वपूर्ण था, अब वो समय नहीं है, क्योंकि हम कुछ ही महीनों नहीं, कुछ ही दिनों की दूरी पे है जहाँ लोकसभा चुनाव अनाउंस होने वाले हैं। अब जहाँ पे कांग्रेस अपनी एक न्याय यात्रा पे निकल रही है, वहां मुझे लगता है कि अपने इंडिया अलायंस के जितने भी संयोजक दल है, वो एक साथ कर जाएंगे तो ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट होगा, क्योंकि हमारे नेता जी ने कहा था कि हमारी फाइट अगर 400 सीट होगी, डायरेक्ट एनडीए वर्सेस इंडिया होगी, तो ये हमारे लिए ज्यादा बेनिफिटेड होगा कि व्हेन ओनली वन कैंडिडेट
नहीं, अनुप्रिया देखिए, आप बात करिए एक आइडियलिस्टिक सिचुएशन की, अगर ऐसा होता तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा होगा, लेकिन बहुत समय निकल चुका है अनुप्रिया, जब से ये पूरा अलायंस बना है। मैंने आपको वही कहा, अगर आप समय को देखें तो समय तो आपके हाथ से निकल रहा है। अब नीतीश कुमार जी चाहते हैं कि वो संयोजक से ऊपर का एक पद उनको मिले, ये केसी त्यागी जी ने भी माना है कि वो उससे बड़ा पद डिजर्व करते हैं। वहीं दूसरे साइड ममता बनर्जी और अरविंद केजरीवाल हैं, जिन्होंने तो मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे को प्राइम मिनिस्टीरियल फेस को प्रॉप अप कर दिया था। क्या आप उससे अग्री करती हैं? मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे वो चेहरा होना चाहिए अलायंस का।
जी, मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कभी भी किसी पद की लालसा नहीं रखी, क्योंकि अगर आपने हमारे राष्ट्रीय प्रवक्ता को सुना होगा तो उन्होंने कहा कि जननी अगर है इंडिया अलायंस की तो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी। निश्चित तौर पे जब समय में उनके आह्वान पे पूरे भारत में विभिन्न दल का एकता दिखता है, तो ये ऑटोमेटिक आप कन्वेनर की बात कर लो या आप संयोजक की बात, उससे ऊपर की बात होती है, क्योंकि अगर देश के तमाम राजनीतिक दल ये मानते हैं कि मुख्यमंत्री जी नीतीश कुमार जी में वो क्षमता है या विश्वसनीयता है, जिसके आधार पे पूरे एक लोग एकजुट होते हैं, तो ये सवाल ही अपने आप में खत्म हो जाता है। लेकिन निश्चित तौर पे एक अगर जेडीयू के कार्यकर्ता के रूप में देखा जाए तो हर एक कार्यकर्ता चाहता है कि उनके नेता आगे सुष्ठित पे जाए, क्योंकि उनकी जो कार्यशैली रही है और जो विकास की यात्रा रही है पूरे बिहार की, वो दिखाता है कि जिस तरह से ईडी का भी मैं कहती हूँ बीजेपी की,
लेकिन अनुप्रिया मुझे ये नहीं समझ आता है कि नीतीश कुमार को लेकर जब इतनी क्लैरिटी है, नीतीश कुमार जननी है इस अलायंस के, ये बात मिस्टर मेका और कांग्रेस को क्यों समझ नहीं आ रही? कांग्रेस तो लगातार उनको इग्नोर कर रही है, उनको कोई तवज्जो नहीं दे रही, कोई वैल्यू नहीं दे रही। बट सिद्धार्थ, अब does the BJP here have a reason to worry, as a lot of these INDI alliance partners allege? You today jump at the very thought of these political parties fighting with each other, but the truth is, Siddharth, that the Congress needs these regional parties and the regional parties also need the Congress, and that's the only way they can even think of defeating Narendra Modi. But when it comes to the BJP, in states of Haryana, in state of Bihar, in the state of Maharashtra, have you decided your seat share alliance, or you believe that because it is Narendra Modi, the BJP is the most powerful party, you have nothing to worry, Siddharth?
No, Deepti, I think what they're trying to do today is nothing different what they tried to do in 2019. Congress has this superiority complex and they want to maintain their superiority in this alliance. It's not, I don't think it's a pan-India alliance. It is a very region-based alliance. Otherwise, why would the seat-sharing meetings happen with individual parties for individual states? They have been meeting collectively so many times. They formed a committee also, a coordination committee, but they didn't discuss about what we are going to do pan-India. The Congress party wants to be the big brother here, and they want to decide, okay, we contested on more than 450 seats the last time. We got less than 50 seats. Let's give out few more seats to our alliance partners or to regional parties, and let's see if the formula works or not. But that is not actually going to work, because it is not about who's coming together. It is about what are they thinking and why they want to come together.
Okay.
The people of our country know that they are coming together to hide their corruption scandals, to come back to just to power, to serve their interests, and to take care of each other's needs.
I have limited time, but I have to ask you just one question. Narendra Modi versus Nitish Kumar, do you think that is a good enough battle? Should the BJP be worried in case it is Nitish Kumar taking on Narendra Modi? Just 5 seconds.
Do you think is that a battle even? Is that going to be a battle? Narendra Modi versus Nitish Kumar? Nitish Kumar is
You
nowhere to
dismiss
be
that?
seen. He has lesser seats in Bihar than anybody. And he is going to take over the most popular leader this country has seen, who's taking this country to newer heights. I don't think that's a competition. Even the people of the country have made up their mind and they're going to follow that.
Okay, interesting. Mallikarjun Kharge versus Narendra Modi. What about Mallikarjun Kharge versus Narendra Modi?
Ask this to India Alliance partners. Is Rahul Gandhi ready for this? I don't think so. If Rahul Gandhi is not ready, if JDU is not ready, how is this going to happen? Don't ask us, ask them, Deepti.
Hypothetical
All right.
question.
I think that's a good point to end this conversation on. We are limited time, but appreciate all of your insight, Ravi. We'll carry forward these conversations. I've completely run out of time. Anupriya and all gentlemen, thank you so much. Heading into a break.
Tata.tv.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
जहाँ यादगार होता है हर एक किस्सा। इको रिट्रीट ओडिशा।
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी। सोमानी बाथवेयर।
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
Pooja, you left the job and still so cool?
Bro, new challenges bring new opportunities.
Oh, really?
Seriously, Rahul, my entire house, now it's an online retail store. Look.
Wow. But money?
Few years back, I'd invested my Diwali bonus.
And now you have LIC's ULIP plan Nivesh Plus. Invest once, get the benefit of both life insurance and maximized returns based on market trends.
One sec, Rahul.
Madam, you are double cool.
Fourth Dimension Media brings to you the most awaited event of the year, South India Content Summit 2024 on January 9th at the Lalit Ashok, Bangalore from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Witness the industry's biggest captains, entrepreneurs and broadcasters speak about the South story. Title sponsor Fourth Dimension Media Solutions, powered by the Hindu and Trend Loud Digital. Agency partner Omnicom Media Group. Innovative content partner Radio City.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, कोई नहीं रहेगा भूखा। हर महीने 80 करोड़ लोगों को मिल रहा है मुफ्त राशन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
सब जांचा है, परखा है, समझा है, इसलिए मेरे समझदारी का नाम इंट्रा है।
टाटा की नई इंट्रा V20 पिकअप है इंडिया की पहली बाय फ्यूल पिकअप, जो दे आपको बढ़िया ड्राइवेबिलिटी, सुपीरियर ड्राइविंग कंफर्ट, ज्यादा लोडेबिलिटी, सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज, जो दे सबसे ज्यादा रेंज। टाटा इंट्रा V20 पिकअप, सब कुछ उठाए, हर दिन जिताए।
टिप चाहिए, पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा और मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Trending burning question, powered by Reva University, Century Laminates, AMNS, Acco Insurance and Hyundai Samad.
Welcome back, friends, to this section of Trending Burning Question. India's neighborhood is seeing some tension. Maldives, the small island nation down south near the equator, along India's western coast, is having some issues with India, or more specifically, the new dispensation that has come to power in the month of November last year, headed by President Mohammad Muizzu, has some problems with India, because of which they have been escalating. One of the very first decisions of the Muizzu government was to stop helicopter and air ambulance services, rescue services provided by India. That was a humanitarian assistance being given by India, which Mohammad Muizzu and those with him in power did not like, for whatever reasons. Subsequently, we have seen escalation in provocations from the Maldivian side, typically as it happens with India following its neighborhood first policy. Whenever there is a change of government in any of its neighboring countries, they visit New Delhi as their first port of call, first foreign trip abroad. But in the case of President Mohammad Muizzu, he went to Turkey first, then he went to UAE, and now he has even gone to China before coming to New Delhi, if at all he decides to come. Clearly, the China card is being played, like we saw once in the case of Nepal a couple of years back, so in the case of Maldives now. We've seen that being played in Sri Lanka as well. We'll try to understand through this conversation we are going to have on what's really happening. Is it a function of the dynamics of local politics at play in Mali between the two democratic dispensations, the democratic parties? Or is it something more? Is there a foreign hand guiding, deciding on behalf of those in power in Maldives now? I have two guests already with us, and we have Prashant Pitti, co-founder of Ease My Trip. He's joining us live from Delhi. We also have Pathikrit Pine, strategic affairs, geopolitical analyst, strategic affairs expert. He's also live from Delhi. In a bit, I would be joined by Ahmed Adib. He's former vice president of Maldives, former tourism minister of Maldives. He is now in the opposition, and he has taken a very clear position that what this present government is doing vis-a-vis India is not good. Since the story came under focus after Prime Minister Modi went to Lakshadweep 5 days back, and we saw those pictures which are on air of Prime Minister soaking in the beauty of Lakshadweep, it sort of started a trend. Provocation from Maldives vis-a-vis what India already has. Now, there is a reason why this story came under focus, because almost 1/3 of Maldives' GDP depends on its interactions with India. Maldives gets maximum number of tourists from India. I beg your pardon, 1/3 of its tourism earnings, tourism revenue comes from India. So we'll try to understand whether this is just about local political dynamics, or is it about the China card, the China hand? I would be soon joined in by Ahmed Adib, but before that, let's start with Prashant Pitti and Pathikrit Pine. To Pathikrit first. Pathikrit, you see, you are a close watcher of geopolitics in our neighborhood and the extended neighborhood. What's your assessment? Is this happening because of the local political dynamics? Because the government of President Ibrahim Soleh before this was very, very pronouncedly pro-India. So as a reaction, a very anti-India or a pro-China government has come to power, and what we are seeing is very temporary, or there is something more to it?
Politics. So it's not essentially, partisan politics going on. It's not exactly a partisan politics going on.
Go ahead.
What I think is actually happening is that, China always does the bidding for such elements
who would do their job. Let me tell you what's the problem with Maldives. Maldives is a very fragile economy in a very ecologically vulnerable environment and in a very, very tense geopolitical region. Ideally, for a country like Maldives, they should have stayed away from all kinds of major war, face-offs going on among major powerhouses. But the problem is countries like Maldives and certain elements of them get propped up by the likes of China, who then ask them to do the work of a flanker. Whatever Maldives is doing, especially this dispensation, even if they have suspended these three ministers, please understand, I would like to tell the audience, it was started by the president of Maldives, the present president himself. And why I say that the Maldivian government, Maldivian economy is so fragile. Look at the economy of Maldives. $7 billion is its GDP, nominal GDP. It is less than 25% of the turnover of TCS for the year 2023, less than 6% of the turnover of Reliance Industries at $1.120 billion. Still, their ministers are making crass comments at the prime minister of a country which is the fifth largest economy of the world, who never mentioned a word about Maldives. He was merely promoting Lakshadweep, which was his right. And as you rightly mentioned, Abhishek, this is exactly the way the Chinese propped up KP Oli, who started making comments, who started doing things in spite of not realizing the fact that whether it is Nepal or whether it is Maldives, when it comes to, as a first respondent, it cannot be anybody else other than India because of geographical proximity. And number two, Pakistan, Sri Lanka are great examples that China will never let you out of a death trap as and when you fall in it. Ideally, a country like Maldives, irrespective of whatever politics goes on inside that country, they should have not got into this, contest going on among major powerhouses. But unfortunately, they try to bite more than what they can chew. And in today's India is not what it was 10 years back. Today, the whole concept of Atma Vishwas is so profound.
No, Prathikrit.
Of the country, people will forget
Prathikrit.
everything else and they will hit you back. And this is exactly, I think, Abhishek, it would not have gone to that extent if Maldives had not wanted it. But Maldives is doing the whole thing. And unfortunately,
no, sure, absolutely. Should we even be saying that it is today's India or it was yesterday's India? Maldives is an independent sovereign country, but a small neighbor, We need not flex our muscles. We need not really bother beyond a certain point. And the fact that much of their humanitarian assistance in times of crisis comes from India, be it a coup, be it a tsunami, be it failure of the desalination plant, or even tourism revenue. We are joined in by Prashant Pitti. He's co-founder of Ease My Trip, and the reason why we have him on our show is because early in the morning, their organization came up with this idea that they would stop all bookings of tourists from India to Maldives. Now, let's try to understand what this means for us in terms of not having Maldives as an option. Also, what it means for Maldives in terms of its revenue share. Mr. Pitti, you were quick to take that decision, perhaps guided by or influenced by social media post-Prime Minister's visit to Lakshadweep. But, there are infrastructure issues in India also. There is a reason why everyone, particularly the celebrities, ends up in Maldives, because the infrastructure at similar places in India, including Lakshadweep, where Prime Minister was, is not as developed. So obviously there would be some gestation period before you can divert all those vacationing tourists from Maldives to places available in India. But there would be some time. But what guided you beyond the social media influence and to be seen to be taking a nationalist position? There are issues with tourism. What does this really mean for Maldives going forward?
Well, Abhishek, firstly, thank you for having me on the show. Abhishek, yes, clearly, we have seen what we have seen in the last 4-5 days, how India was derogated by multiple, ministers of Maldives. Now, we think that Maldives have just now shot themselves in the foot, but I think it was very well orchestrated. Maldives, as we know, was never mentioned by our honorable Prime Minister while promoting Lakshadweep, which he was well within its right. Maldives, probably it's a proxy war. The way I see it is, it could be a proxy war between India and China, just like USSR and US fought in Vietnam. We believe that it could be one of the proxy wars, and it could be just the beginning of it. And we know that the current regime is very close to China. Now, of course, there is going to be a gestation period for the places like Lakshadweep, which recently got into limelight. I have been to Lakshadweep myself. It's a beautiful place, but it is going to take time, and we are doing our level best to get this into shape. We are talking to various airlines to see if we can actually get the direct connectivity to mainland India, to Lakshadweep, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and as if the tourist starts flocking, there will be a lot of development which we will be seeing. The current government has done phenomenal job in creating a world-class, airport within 20 months in Ayodhya. So given the speed at which this government works, we think that it is a very well possibility that in the next 5 years, Lakshadweep might actually come out as one of the top tourist destinations, not just for India, but for the world. And I also believe that maybe at some level, people in Maldives.
And what does it mean for Maldives, Maldivian economy?
See, around 30% of the entire Maldives GDP is dependent on tourism, and around 12 to 15% of that is brought in by Indians. And at EaseMyTrip being the second largest travel portal, around 20 to 25% of all the online bookings happen from India, happens from EaseMyTrip. So by taking this stance, we are actually making a dent in Maldives GDP in single digits, but it is going to be a direct impact. The impact which by making decision, and as we knew that we are in the position of power, we also need to have the responsibility to side with the country and not really care about the profits. We are letting go of our revenues and our profits in order to stand up for the country, because for any self-respecting citizen, this seemed below the belt hit which should not have been expected.
Okay, this is something which should not be accepted, and obviously India has risen as one, and I think not just the government, in fact the government has not done anything beyond a démarche to their High Commissioner here. It seems that the people have really gotten involved because the Prime Minister was targeted, and Maldives, unfortunately the people of Maldives might be at the receiving end if the tourism is withdrawn. Pathikrit, you think from the side of India there is anything else we could have done, like we handled Nepal, because you mentioned KP Sharma Oli over a period of time? In the case of Sri Lanka, we saw Sri Lanka sorting itself out because the kind of debt trap China created. How long before even Maldivians really understand? There are already murmurs of dissent against what President Muizu is doing, by the way. In fact, the minority leader, or the leader of opposition, so to say, in Maldives has already called for a no-trust vote against President Muizu. But how long before the people of Maldives really realize that they have made a mistake in electing President Muizu, who ran a clear, open, out India campaign?
Abhishek, you rightly mentioned about Nepal and Sri Lanka, and I think India's neighborhood first policy would ideally not change. If something happens to Maldives tomorrow, any kind of natural calamity, I'm sure India would be the first country to go and help, as India has always done under Prime Minister Modi's leadership specifically. But what has happened, Abhishek, because of India's neighborhood first policy, irrespective of anything, certain countries had started taking India for granted, as if you can do anything to Indians, you can say anything to India, but in spite of everything, India will keep on coming to help you. And they had this thing in mind, that China is vindictive, don't antagonize China. This today, what has happened is going to change the equation quite a bit.
Pathikrit, sorry to be interrupting. Sorry to be interjecting, Pathikrit. We are joined in by Mr. Ahmed Adib. He's former Vice President of Maldives. He's also former Tourism Minister of Maldives, and he's in opposition now, and he understands the implications of what's really happening. better than anyone else on the panel. So welcome Mr. Adib for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV. And we would really appreciate if you could tell us what's really happening down there in Maldives and Malé. The new president, from the word go, has taken a very clear anti-India position, it seems. What, according to you, is really happening there?
Thank you very much for having me. As you see, the campaign was run on India Out campaign, which was targeted to the last government of Maldives, which was very close to India. And this was started by the former President Yamin. But also now President Yamin has gone out of that party. Dr. Muiz, the new president, inherited that. And within that party, there are extreme elements that as you see, which were previously activists, now has become deputy ministers. And they have this racial and degrading remarks on Indians and Prime Minister Modi, which led to this diplomatic crisis, which is blown out of proportion now. I really believe that Maldives government should do more. They should remove these deputy ministers, as well as file a formal apology, as well as reach out by the President Maldives to the Prime Minister Modi, because otherwise this is going out of proportion, and it will continue, and it will damage Maldives tourism as well as the economy of Maldives.
Okay, so, and is it because of the local political dynamics that this has happened? So, for example, the fact that Mr. Muizu, after becoming president, the first thing he does is he grounds the Indian Dornier and helicopter service. Then he asks the soldiers to leave, which is okay, we understand. Then he walks out of the joint hydrography agreement. Then he does not send his NSA to attend the NSA level Colombo security dialogue. Then he goes to Turkey first, then he goes to UAE, then now he's gone to China. How is China? Is China the elephant in the room? You think the Chinese could be guiding behind the scenes all these actions?
I think it's been just 60 days into the government, and it's just yet to be seen what will happen in China. President Dr. Muiz is already in China. So the decisions they make, the agreements they make, I think that will reflect on what is going to happen next, I would say. But as you see, Maldives has reached all the debt ceilings, debt to GDP. Everything is beyond. We cannot take any more loans, and also it is very limited that like budget support and everything will come from any other country. If you take historical context, even for last 5-10 years, it has always been India who gave budget support to Maldives governments and has been helpful in the financial crisis as well as the economic crisis we felt with the COVID. It has always been India. So it is yet to be seen what will happen next. I'm also an observant at the moment because I'm not in the government. So what I would say is that we have yet to see what is going to happen.
But do you think, Mr. Adib, that people on the ground, the common Maldivians, they would suffer if this continues? Because like we saw in the case of the desalination plant failure, the water crisis, like we saw in the case of tsunami, like we saw in the case of going back to 1988, the coup, India happens to be the first responder. Whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is humanitarian and development assistance needed. So you think if this really leads to a lot of bad blood between India and Maldives, and if these kind of humanitarian assistance really tapers off, you think the common people in Maldives would suffer, and then there could be a reaction?
Yes, exactly. Even now, because of this social media row and because of this full-blown diplomatic crisis, and also the anti-Maldives sentiments which is coming because of the derogatory comments by the ministers, I think already the bookings are getting cancelled. It's already hurting the tourism, and it will directly impact the economy, and also directly it will impact the Maldivian people. And if you see the Maldivian people, the majority of the Maldivian people watch Bollywood movies. We love Indian food. We are very close with India, but it's just very few, because of very few politicians that Maldivian people are going to suffer. So the Maldives government should take action to solve this crisis rather than just letting it blow out and escalate. So Maldives government should take more action to solve this crisis. Otherwise, our fellow Maldivians will suffer. Our economy and our tourism will suffer.
Right. Right. And you think this is because President Muizu, of course, has also been the mayor of Malé for the longest period of time. He has seen the development assistance. He has seen the development works, the humanitarian assistance. So he's not someone who does not know the value of having India as a friend. You think this is personal motivation, or you think that this is the larger ecosystem of the political party that he represents, which is guiding him?
To be honest, at the moment, there's a transition from President Yamin to Dr. Muiz. Even the party himself, he has to take over the party. So everything is transition. And I think that like when it's transiting, there are these kind of extreme elements even inside the party. So I think because of all these elements, I think it's been difficult for Dr. Muiz to have a good relationship with India. But what I see is that when you are in power, you should be responsible, we should be mature, and we should balance everything because when you are in opposition, when you are campaigning, you say some sort of things that to get the votes. But when you are in power, you should be more than anything, and you should really think of the livelihood of the Maldivians, which is the tourism, which is the relationship we have with the countries. So I believe that Dr. Muiz and Maldives has to take more action to build more relations with India.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed Adib, ex-Maldives Vice President there, talking to us. Much appreciate you joining us and giving that perspective from the ground on what's really happening. Hopefully, better sense would prevail, and as you said, rightly so, that in position of responsibility, more responsibility needs to be shown. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. We slip into a short break, and on the other side, Mr. Arnab Goswami is back with the debate.
Powered by Reva University, a social impact multidisciplinary university. Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, India बनाऊंगा मैं, बनेगा भारत.
Tata.tv.
Amity faculty have filed over 2,100 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
भाई इतनी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं। टाइल्स तो बड़े होने चाहिए। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता, उछलता है, दौड़ता, कभी कभी दौड़ कर आता है। आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
The first Vibrant Gujarat in Amrit Kaal, the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024 is set to take place. Infinite opportunities to meaningfully engage with Bharat and the world will unfold on this globally acclaimed future-ready platform. The last 20 glorious years of Vibrant Gujarat, a role model for the country, have infused us with new confidence, reinforcing our belief and conviction that Gujarat can achieve anything for the nation and the world. As we embark on the journey of shaping the future and building a modern, developed nation in the Amrit Kaal, Vibrant Gujarat will prove to be the growth engine for this journey. Because today, Gujarat is future ready. On 10th of January, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024, ushering in an era of Industry 4.0. The country's largest global trade show will open a day earlier, on January 10th, where fruitful discussions will be held on the infinite possibilities of production in the aircraft sector, the potential of Dholera, and global fintech hub at GIFT, along with brainstorming sessions on Vikasit Bharat at 2047. On January 11th, the discussions will revolve around game changers of the modern nation, such as semiconductor electronics, startups, e-commerce, tech ed, EV mobility. And on January 12th, Gujarat will engage in discussions with the world on technology, MSME, innovation and sustainability. The gateway to the future awaits your presence. Welcome to Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
केंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
केंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
केंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
इस दुनिया में बस हम दो हैं, दुनिया जिनकी दीवानी है। आ रहे हैं हम दोनों।
After 17 months long fight, Bilkis Bano gets justice. Received a hero's welcome, set to head to jail now. Justice delivered, Bilkis Bano rapist back to jail. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Brace yourselves for a revolutionary leap into the world of news with the Republic World app. This is not just an app, viewers. It's a direct conduit to a world of news delivered with unparalleled authority and integrity right at your fingertips. Republic World app is your gateway to the latest updates, live streams, and the debates that have become the hallmark of our journalistic prowess. Download Republic World app, available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
Anger over racist remark by 3 Maldivian ministers. Forced to act, Maldives suspends 3 top ministers. Cancelled by Indian tourists, Maldives government forced to act. Arnab debates at 10 p.m.
Brace yourselves for a revolutionary leap into the world of news with the Republic World app. We are not merely presenting a news app. We at Republic TV are ushering in a new era of digital news consumption. The Republic World mobile app has the essence of power of breaking news and the heartbeat of our impactful shows seamlessly integrated into a singular dynamic platform for you. Join us, viewers, in an experience that goes beyond conventional news reporting. Don't merely witness the news, become a part of it. Download the Republic World app, now available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Century Ply, Club Prime. PolicyBazaar.com. Co-powered by Sera.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy and relieved that the Supreme Court of India has sent the rapists of Bilkis Bano back to jail where they belong for the rest of their life. I took a strong view then when they were released by the Gujarat government. And I know fully well that some of my traditionally strongest supporters went against me. They were angry when I said that the Gujarat BJP government has violated ethics, morality, and law in setting the rapists of Bilkis Bano free before the Gujarat elections. But you know me for years, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what people think when it comes to the truth. And I don't care whether anyone in this party or that approves of what I say. Because we must call a spade a spade. Yes, I was furious. And I felt violated when I saw rapists stand in a line and get garlanded after being freed by the Gujarat government. Garlanded for raping Bilkis Bano. Garlanded for being rapists. And I said so on TV then. And I know some of my supporters went against me, and I don't care about that. But I also know that many others, and I hope that doesn't include you, stayed quiet in the Bilkis Bano episode when her rapists were freed. And I would say to you as well that if you knew about it and you were angry and you stayed quiet, you were wrong. How could anybody stay quiet knowing that supporting rapists is immoral and disgusting? Bilkis was raped when she was pregnant. And her rapists are being garlanded. 7 of her family members, including her 3-year-old child, were killed. Are we to celebrate that? Just because she doesn't belong to a specific religion or just because she is Muslim? Just because she is Muslim, we are to celebrate her rapists? What is this? No, viewers, that's wrong. It's immoral, illegal, unacceptable and inhuman. And what the Gujarat government did was wrong, patently wrong, fundamentally wrong. As wrong as Yashwant Sinha, then Central Minister's son Jayant Sinha, garlanding lynchers to get ahead in Jharkhand politics in 2018. You will remember, viewers, I called Jayant Sinha to this studio and I pulled him up and I gave him a piece of my mind. And that's what I would do even today if anyone tries to justify releasing and garlanding rapists. This is not populism by them. I would say it with all my conviction. It is immorality. And we cannot be quiet when something immoral is done. Viewers, I am a firm believer in the national vision driving our country towards superpower. And like you, I want to do my bit as well to take us there. That's my life's mission. And tonight that includes taking a stand for Bilkis Bano. We must all take a stand for Bilkis Bano. And I am sure that all right-thinking viewers will support me as I do so. I am grateful for the highest court of the country for their intervention today, and that is debate number 1. The Supreme Court ordering Bilkis Bano's rapists back to prison. That's debate number 1. Debate number 2 tonight, cancelled by Indians. Maldives tried as a desperate face saver. Debating at 10 p.m. tonight. Debate number 3, what took so long for the spotlight to shine on Lakshadweep? That's debate number 3. And here are the headlines. This Monday evening on the debate tonight, After a 17-month-long fight, the Supreme Court sets aside the remission granted by the Gujarat government to Bilkis Bano's rapists. Celebrated rapists released with garlands, the Gujarat government faces embarrassment as the rapists are ordered back to prison. Maldives government tries a face saver, now suspends 3 top ministers after racist remarks. International battle over Lakshadweep intensifies, but why did it take so long to shine big on the tourist map? Major tussle within INDI over seat sharing. JDU slams Congress, says time to strengthen INDI, not party. Days after the attack on the ED team in West Bengal, Mamta's minister openly threatens the central agency. After a 17-month-long battle, the Supreme Court has served justice to Bilkis Bano. 11 rape convicts ordered back to prison. These are the very same convicts who were welcomed with garlands and sweets. They were given a hero's welcome when they were released. Today, as they are sent back to where they belong, the country is celebrating. Here are the developments that we have followed very closely here at Republic, and then we debate.
Celebrations after a 17-month-long battle. As 11 men who raped Bilkis Bano and killed 7 members of her family are set to return to where they belong. Meanwhile, these celebrations have come to an end. Elected MLAs had shamefully celebrated the release of these rapists, giving the impression that 11 rapists had political support. The release was controversial to begin with.
The court has said, and it's a scathing indictment of the state of Gujarat. The court has said that the law is clear. The appropriate government is the government where the accused are tried and sentenced, which, as we know, in the case of Bilkis Bano, which is a case emerging from the violence that took place in 2002 in Gujarat.
Republic was the only channel that fought for Bilkis back then.
तो बिल्किस एकदम शॉर्ट और माहिश हो कि आज मेरी 18 साल की लड़ाई को एक ही झटके पे ख़त्म कर दिया। सिक्योरिटी का बहुत बड़ा इशू है, क्योंकि वो लोग जब पैरल पे आते थे, जो पैरल पे आके घर पे आते थे, तब भी हमको डर था, वो थोड़ा था, अब ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है कि अब हम आगे का भविष्य कैसे तय करेंगे बच्चों के साथ।
Republic opposed the release and questioned the Gujarat government.
What is this celebration of the rapists for? What is the point that the Gujarat government is trying to make?
The Supreme Court also came down heavily on the Gujarat government now. The opposition has targeted the government over the release.
आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव में वाहवाही लूटने के लिए गुजरात सरकार ने जो कुछ भी किया, सत्ता का दुरुपयोग, शक्ति का दुरुपयोग, उस पर माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने जो फटकार लगाई है और कहा है कि सत्ता का दुरुपयोग हुआ है, तो इससे आगे सचेत रहने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि हमारे देश के 140 करोड़ जनता का विश्वास लोकतंत्र से धीरे धीरे उठता जा रहा है.
It is about the politics. Let's be very clear about it. The Gujarat government, the BJP government in Gujarat thought that if we release these 11, either the media will not notice it, or we will say we have a technical reason to release them. The fact is, there is no technical reason to release. The release has happened because there is a jail board committee. In the jail board committee, there are 2 BJP MLAs. The jail board committee and therefore the BJP MLAs and therefore the BJP has decided